Good evening and warm welcome to all the participants. It is with great pleasure we welcome you back to this 133rd Leadership Conversation. We are joined by none other than Dr. Madabhushi Sridhar. Welcome, sir. Good evening to you.
Namaskar,
All the
Andy.
participants, on their behalf, I am welcoming you, sir. Thank you so much for agreeing to speak with us.
My
Without
great
wasting
pleasure,
any
sir.
time, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Without wasting any time, I will straight away go for the introduction and then come back to request you to start, sir.
Yeah.
These are WiseViews leadership conversations. We hold these conversations every Friday. And this Friday, today, we are fortunate to have Dr. Madabhushi Sridhar. He was the former Central Information Commissioner, Government of India. He's going to talk about RTI and constitutional governance. This introduction and opening remarks will be for 20-25 minutes, and then we'll have 40 minutes and plus for the Q&A. So we are all eagerly waiting for the Q&A to begin after the introduction and opening remarks. So it is my privilege to introduce Dr. Madabhushi Sridhar. He is originally known as Madabhushanam Sridhar Acharyalu and widely recognized and known as Dr. Madabhushi Sridhar in short. He is a distinguished personality with an illustrious career spanning over 19 years as a professor. Currently, he is serving as an advisor at the School of Law, Mahindra University. His remarkable journey includes significant roles such as Registrar at Nalsar University and Bennett University, Delhi. He is a prolific writer and a columnist, as all of you know. Beyond the academic realm, Dr. Sridhar has carved a niche for himself as a prolific writer and commentator. He remains an active columnist, contributing insightful perspectives on socio-political issues in both Telugu and English. His literary accomplishments extend to an impressive repertoire of 52 books. Read again, 52 books on law and journalism published in both languages. Additionally, he has authored over 100 research articles and penned thousands of thought-provoking newspaper articles. He is a common man's idol. Dr. Madabhushi Sridhar's multifaceted engagement with the public includes hosting a live phone-in TV show spanning 60 episodes focused on the intricacies of land records. His commitment to transparency and governance is exemplified by his tenure as the Central Information Commissioner from 2013 to 2018. During this period, he delivered several landmark orders under the Right to Information Act, further solidifying his reputation as a champion of transparency and accountability. Dr. Sridhar's impactful contributions to academia, journalism, and public service mark him as an influential figure at the intersection of law, media, and governance. Dr. Madabhushi Sridhar holds a double postgraduate degree in law, LLM and MCJ, along with a PhD and LLD. With this, I once again welcome you, sir, to this 133rd Leadership Conversations hosted by ICFAI. I will also take one moment to introduce my esteemed colleague who is on the panel. He is the Senior Director at Academic Wing ICFAI Group. He has 3 decades of rich experience. He is an alumnus of IIT Bombay and the prestigious IIM Kolkata. He has also penned several articles, edited various books, and presented papers in conferences in India and abroad. And I'll stop sharing my screen at this point in time. I'll request Dr. Madabhushi Sridhar to give us the opening remarks on the topic of RTI and good governance. And with that, we would have begun this most awaited leadership conversation. Over to you, sir.
Namaskar. Andariki, to all of you, namaskar. And all the great personalities around me, and Mr. Prasad, Mr. Sudhakar, and other friends, and coming friends who are listening to me. So nice of you to talk to you, to listen to you, and say something which I remember or which I know because of my association with information, right to information. Why right to information is so important? That's a very big question. And before that, I would like to complete one more point, add one more point. That is, I did LLD. LLD I did because of my problem. What is the problem? When I was giving answers to certain questions in RTI, I used to collect certain information, and there was a judgment of Supreme Court, and that judgment was against RTA. Then I studied on that, and based on that study, I could become LLD also from the university. So I want to add that point. Then, in addition to what we are supposed to discuss now is why it is right to information. Can we say right to expression is enough now? Why should we say right to information? So this is the question. Answer is right to information is part of right to expression. Right to expression is part of right to various constitutional rights. And one of the constitutional rights we all talk about right to life. We talk about right to life. Fine, right to life is very important. But before right to life, what was the right that we had so far? It was right to ask for information, and right to ask for information. Suddenly, because of that, you can write others also. Right, you can ask for the in life also. And so from the life, we have evolved into right to information, and right to information is a right. It's a right, RIGHT, right. That's a very important point. Why it is called right? Why should we not say freedom, or why should we say something else? Something is very important about it, and because it is right to information by the parliament, was passed in a parliament, and parliament was part of constitution, and constitution talks about right to information, right to expression. Right to expression is a very important constitutional right. That is the reason why that right was made by the parliament. Otherwise, any state can do it, no? Any state could have formed a law, but here it is the constitutional aspect for the entire country, so it was constitutional right. That's what I should start, and you can open the what is it,
Yes, I will do that.
PPT. If you want, you can see PPT. I can also speak along with this. So this is right to good
Yes, sir.
governance. Governance.
Good
Why
governance.
governance? Why
Yes.
are you talking about governance? And why are you talking about good governance? Is there a different governance or a good governance? In my point is, unless you understand what is governance, and cannot understand gov- uh, good what is good governance, it is difficult to understand it. And governance is basic of right to information. Because of governance, I can go to information, and for getting information, I will make it good governance. So that is a point I would like to say. And before that, read what Bhagavad Gandhi says. If you don't ask, you will not get it. This is the question. It's a common point. If you don't ask for it, then why do you get it? So ask for something, and because as a person, as a citizen, we have a right to ask for information. And if you don't ask, you will not get it. Next point. Now, right to know, that's what I was talking about. Uh, thought thought is very important. Expression is next, and right to vote. Without right to vote, can you think of anything else? And then question. See, question comes from art. Of course, we say there's no start of asking, but I am asking, questioning. And I am asking that all these four aspects are dependent upon right to information. And that's what we have to understand. There are two expressions which are supposed to understand right to information, right to law of information. That is, hold and control. So, which information you have to give? You can't give entire information to the world. You cannot. And what information you have held it. You have it with you. Whatever information you have with you, share it. And sometimes you will not have complete information with you. Then where from you have to get it that from control. Suppose somebody has controlled that information available, and then I can share it. So holding and controlling is not own. It is not ownment. Oh, I don't own it. I don't own any information. Suppose somebody tells me something, some information to me, it is not my own. Somebody's controlled, somebody held it that has come to me, and I'll talk about it. That's a very, very important one should understand. You are not, I am not the owner. There is no authority to own this information. So you have only pressure, um, uh, pressing, you have permission to give the information. That's our only permission. Then go to this very, very important section 3. Section 3 is a very, very important law. What is it? It talks about three aspects. All citizens, all citizens. Now, what does it mean, citizens? Every citizen has a right. You need not have to be a different person. If it's enough if you are a citizen, you have the right. And shall have, this is a very important point, again, one should understand. Shall have it. And that is what that you are supposed to give, right to information. So this is the important. That's why I explained it. Section 3, of course, it's a simple thing, simple question, but still, unless and you understand, it is a shall. It is not recommendation. It is for some, not for some. It is for all. And what is this? This is not suggestion. It is a right. So that is the difference between right to information, right to citizen, and right to have it. Now, what it's a right to form, right to is a matter of right. That's what I explained. The same points are here explained, and if anybody wants to read it, you will understand it very easily. This is right to information, and look at this. There are 4 or 5 aspects of right to information. Inspection. Anybody can inspect it. Anybody can what is it? Take it, and where it is give it option. You can take it. How do you take it? You may inflict inspection words. You can works. Somebody is working. You are an authority. You are a government authority, and you are conducting some work, government work. And I want to know what is this work that is being done. How much of money you are paid for this kind of activity? So I would like to see what is this work, and then uh, the account.
Obtaining.
Huh?
Obtaining.
Updating. You will get the updated records. You see, it is called record. What kind of a record you have? Record is in your own in your office. It is office information. It is not personal information. If it is personal information, I need not even ask for it. Let us not ask for it at all. Also, but it is a information which is in a public office, and from public office, I want to show it. I want to see it. I want to share it with. That is the point. And second is taking. Inspection is not enough. Sometimes I have to take it. How do I take it? I extract the information. I will certify it. I want a certified copy. I will certify it. I will take a sample. So these are the points. These are the expressions of information. Then you can have a disk. You can add what is it?
Tapes.
Floppy. You can a video, or we can print out. Sometimes we don't get prints, but it needs some money, or it requires some money. How do you get it? That's, of course, there are certain rules and requirements which are available, and if you pay that retired relevant information money, yeah, you can take it. That's all. Right to information is, this is the explanation. The same thing I wrote.
Yes.
This is a record. This is a file notice. Yeah, this is a very important. Why is it is a notification? What is it whole file notification? What does it mean? File notification is not just a record. It is the filing by the officers who who ultimately take a decision. Before taking a decision, there are certain file notices and file notifications taken, and I can share it. It's like a correspondence also. Suppose I write something letter to somebody, and some reports he says, or some other thing information is available, and it is part of my file. And as a part of file, I have notifications, notations, notinations, notings. Notings. It is called noting, and that's a general use we understand it. So notification is a very important notification. Then notes are certain notes. some additions to notes and some other uh, concessions, concession aspects. Now, I would like to tell you, we have understood section 3, but what we need to understand is section 4. If you want to know which is so important part of entire right to information, it is right to section 4. What is that right section 4? Unfortunately, right section 4, right of information of section 4 is just a suggestion, record, not a record. It's only suppression. It's a suggest. It's a suggestion, recommendation. That is unfortunate for me, and I would have fighting. I was fighting with this when as a professor. I was asking, why do you say it is only a suggestion? Why don't you say it is right? That is the problem with the government and the stores in the entire country. This is the problem. Somewhere where there are good countries have accepted that this as a right, but we did not. It's only a suggestion. But every suggestion is supposed to be applied, taken up, and if that information is not given by others, he can say, these are the information that I have. There are 17 points of the citations, aspects of information. 17. 17, what are there? These are the explained. If somebody can release it, I release it, I will be very happy.
Yes, sir.
Particulars.
This slide you have mentioned the decision-making processes and accountability and particulars, policies, decisions, notifications, administrative decisions, orders, agreements, details about development works, officers, their salaries, particulars of PIOs and APIOs. Then, on the other hand, subsidies, eligibilities for government schemes, programs, regulations, rules of working, budget, expenditure, distribution, procedure for compensation, facilities for citizen, and additionally, resolution of councils, committees, and conferences. All these comprise of public authority with the government departments. So all these probably are the ingredients of the information that we can seek for.
If this information is available, if the information is made available, the state government, you need not ask for right to information. Right to information, you didn't even ask for it. It's enough. Just simply go by that and give the information. Who is asking for it, give it. Even otherwise, in fact, there are 2 points. One is right to information, asking for it. Second part is the fourth section. What is that fourth section? I give on my own. I'll give you. If I'm a government, I'm supposed to give. If I'm a director, I'm a director. I have to give the information. If I'm the editor, I have to give the information. If I'm a chief minister or another minister, prime minister, I am supposed to give the information. You give on your own. You give a conference, and you will speak. You'll give a speech, and that is the information which you are supposed to give is being supposed to be given to me. So what information which is available to me, I need not ask for it. And in addition to information that you have already given, I can ask for it. And that you ask, only that part you ask, whether the rest of the part need not ask for it. It is supposed to be given. No, this is the right. This is it is democracy. What do you mean by democracy? Because we are supposed to understand governance, and for governance, what is that you remember under Constitution of India? Constitution of India talks about 3 important articles: 14, 19, and 21. 19 is very important in my view. Not that 61 is not important. 14, of course, equal. Everybody should be equal. And 19, what 19 talks about, right to information. How do you get this right to information? Unless without right information is available, I can't even ask for it. And if I don't ask for it, I'll not give a right to live, right to live. I'll get right to live through 19. And unless there is 14, I can't know what is 19. So 14, 19, and 61 or 21 are supposed to be together very great aspects of right to Constitution of India. You can't remove it so far. You can't remove it. And if you want to remove it, you can understand that we have lost Constitution of India also. So when you have Constitution of India, you must also think of these three important articles. And if three articles are really implemented, and Section 4 is implemented, and Section 6 is understood, Section 3 is understood, it is governance, right to governance. Then I call it good governance. What do you mean by good governance? When I say governance, it's enough. I want governance. But my question is, sometimes my problem is, there is no governance at all in some rights. Some government, there is no right at all. I mean, there is no governance at all. Good info, governance is a different question. I don't have even a governance in some of the areas. This is the problem. And if I say this, it will be a serious question, very difficult. So it is not just an act. It is just not a legislation. It is constitutional aspect. Please remember the importance of the constitution, and it is empowerment. What do you mean by empowerment? I know with the information I can do something. If I don't information, what do I do? Democracy depends upon this governance, and governance depends on power, empowering. This the real empowering is available in governance and administration and what is it? Democracy. These are the three aspects together we are supposed to understand. So these are the aspects of right
Same
to
thing.
information that we have already, I've explained it, but these are the various kinds which we have already discussed. There are various kinds of records. Then this talks about what are the citizens supposed to do. Can you please read the
Yes,
citizens?
sir. This slide you have asked us to understand that a citizen can request for information both in the written form as well as oral form. And the citizen need not give personal details and need not mention the reason for the request.
Correct.
But a right of the citizen becomes the duty of public authority. So that was beautifully stated by you. Yes.
So this is the book I was talking about.
Yes.
Right to information means right to disclose, duty to disclose. And that's why I gave two indications also. One
Right.
is right to information is dependent upon right to information. Right to information depends on duty, and duty is available to the right. If you have a right, if you don't link with these two, there is no right. Exact. Definitely, there is no such right. So these are the various aspects of right to information and right to request reasons. Suppose I want to ask some information. I'm an applicant. I said I want this give information. That's enough. Give me information. I can ask. I need not tell you why should I ask for it. In the moment if I ask you what is the reason for the information I am asking, every time you will select it. You will say no. This is what I should do. This is what you should ask for it. You should ask only for this. You should don't ask for that. If you say this, what's the kind of right to information then? So reason for request is not necessary. This is the beauty of the right to information.
This is detailing the duty of public authority.
Correct.
The authority is supposed to take the request, to help in writing oral request if there are oral requests, intimate refusal within 30 days to the citizen, intimate fee and cost if granted, and give reasons also why it is being refused. And also, there is an appellate authority and time for appeal. That information also has to be shared to the citizen who is seeking the information.
Right to refuse. What a very important question, answer. Can anybody say this? This is the real right. Refuse. I'll refuse. I'll not give the information. You can get that, but you must have a reason for that. Refusal, you should explain me, and for that you will ask for this 30 days available, and for 30 days you decide whether to give or not to give. So rejection is allowed. Of course, rejection is allowed to you, but not within not within 30 months days only. Within 30 days you give me. If you don't, then I will question you. I'll take you to next level of complaint, and that complaint goes to third level, second point, it will go to us. When I was right to information, having right to information, right to Central Information Commissioner, I was in a second level. So in second level, I have a duty to question or to organize what is this exactly is asking and what are you not giving. Why are you not requesting, not giving? That is the question I can answer. And based on this, I can take a decision, and that decision is judgment. That is what is the duty of a this
Public.
second second commissioner, second level commissioner.
Great, great, sir. I'll go to the next slide.
Yeah, please.
Here you're talking about certain examples. 20 years old subject to section 8AC1, how that information is given, and though certain information items are prohibited by Official Secrets Act, section 8(2), for public purpose, it has to be, so maybe you can explain, sir.
Correct. This has to be explained. There are 20-year-old, 20-year-old information is limited by the expressions, by the limitations. There are not limitations for this. If it is before 2 years, before 20 minutes, 20 years, before 20 years, I can't get the information. But after 20 years, I must get it. And what are those 4 points? It is all required there. There are 4 points are available here. Other than that, you can't deny it. You have to get the information. It's including, this is right to official secret. Now, this is the question. What is official secret? Then you have certain reads, so points. And if you are within those points, it is there, don't give the information. But if it is beyond that, if it is not beyond your limits, yes, I have the right to information, even in this second part also. So this is what information is explained.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Then this is police, intelligence, security departments can probably collate the information about allegations of corruption with information commissioner's consent, functions and duties, all other non-security information about violation of human rights with information commissioner's consent. I think this is talking about what are the ingredients of the nature of the information that can be held by authorities like police, intelligence, security, and what can be furnished.
So human rights, how do you get it human rights? If it's a human right is being violated, suppose somebody is says that you are violated certain right to human information, human information, human right. Then when it is a human right, yeah, immediately it cannot be given. I understand, but then it has to be questioned by two points. One is it a allegation of corruption? And that is the reason why we are writing for right to information, asking for right to information. So if there's a corruption, if I have some information about corruption, you give me the information about that corruption. And then next part is, if it is related to a violation of right to human rights, then I must get the information. But this has to be decided. Do you know by whom? It is by this second level of governance. That is right to Central Information Commission. A Central Information Commission or State Information Commission at second level has to answer this question, and he has to give these questions, and you have to answer. But the only problem is, if the officers of the second level officers, if they don't perform this duty, this is the problem. Second part.
Yes. This is talking about the information which cannot be given. If it is harmful to so many items, or if it is prohibited by courts, or if it is commercial trade secrets or information, intellectual property rights, which is affecting competitive interests of others, or if it is injuring others' rights. So these are the 4 categories you have mentioned, sir. where information cannot be given.
Correct. This is a very important right within part of the right to information. It is section 8. You please remember section 8. This is a very, very important section. Without 8, you can't understand the other parts of the part of law. So here, these are the 4 aspects. Just now you have to, what is problematic, what is prohibited, what is commercial, and what is
Injuring others' rights.
yes, injuring the rights. This person, yes, and apart from them, one of these parts, it is privacy. Now everybody is talking about privacy nowadays. Yes, privacy has to be protected. I'm support with the privacy. I support with this kind of law. But privacy means what? Which privacy is correct and which privacy is not correct? Suppose a government officer is corrupt. There is a complaint against corruption. Is corruption is a private information or complete information? Private information or a government of information? If it is government information, give the information. And you say that, yes, this is the problem. And if you don't allow this to be shared, the information, what can you do? And what is that you do with the right to information at all? So these are the 4 important parts which have to be understand and then implement to, if it is not correct, don't ask. Suppose somebody is asking for his wife details. Why should anybody is working to know about wife? Yeah? Unless there is an issue with this. Suppose there is a fight with the wife with the husband, and that goes to court of law or that's going to police station. Then I may have to ask the information. It's not privacy. But otherwise it is private. Both are living well. There is no fighting with them. Now, why should I know about this? What is that you did yesterday? What do you do tomorrow? Will you eat something today? Why should anybody bother about it? And this is a misuse, some being doing it. So don't ask for this private information, and it will be a misuse of right to information. So that is what is stated by section 8. And so please understand section 8, and compared with previous 2 or sections, these points which just now you have seen, they are together should be understood. Thank you.
Right. What are the penalties under Information Act imposed by Information Commission? If there is a refusal to take the request, then there is a penalty of 250 rupees per day, up to 25,000 also. And if someone, if not responding within 30 days, there is a penalty. If modified denial of information, then there is a recommendation to take departmental action along with penalty.
Yeah, these are the points I need not say because you can read it anytime. Next point.
Need of supportive laws.
These are the, unless they are with us, right to information cannot work. But unfortunately, we are not dealing with this. We're not working. What is the second part? Protect.
Public
Protect
Records Act. Public
Yeah.
Records Act 1993.
Yes, they are not using it. This is my problem. This is a various problem. It's a serious problem for me. And then is the last part you listen to, section 4.
Section 4.
You must on your own give the information. Why are you not giving? Why did you not give? This is the only question. Next point.
Yes.
I think this
writ petition.
Yeah, this is the point. Now, in my view, what is the importance of this right to information is available only in for rupees 10. What a wonder, yeah. One can imagine that for right to 10, we can ask for the information. I'll give you one example. One professor retired, and he has to give some information in the related retirement related money. That has to be given. He doesn't give. He asked, requested, doesn't give. 2 months, 3 months, not given. 1 month did not give. Then he goes under RTI Act. He asks. He pays 10 rupees. Just 10 rupees and he gets the information. And it comes to, he doesn't give. He doesn't give PIO. It is called personal. What is it? Um, Public Information Commission.
Information officer.
The Public Information Commission, it doesn't give the information. It's a it is a misuse of the right. So they don't give. Then what goes? It comes to second level, first point level. The officer, senior officer, says, "Arey, why don't you give this information here? This has to be given." Then he doesn't give. Then it goes to commission, Central Information Commission or State Information Commission. State Information Commission, it's just a professor, and you are right to pay that money. Your duty to pay. Why are you not giving? Then I said, come on, you tell me when are you giving it? My question was, when are you giving? Then he said, give me 1 month, sir. Yeah, oh, no problem. 1 month I give you. In fact, I need not give 1 month time to him because I had to impose penalty on it. But still I thought, okay, gave him some more time to give. He gave within 1 month, he gave the entire information. And you know what the professor said? Professor, thank you so much. I'm so happy. And he was simply, even eating, he was what is it? Trying, tearing. He was having tears on this. I said, sir, there's nothing to tear, sir. It is your duty. It is your duty to get it first. I'm giving. I was so happy. I thought this is the importance of right. And what is the past? What is the cost he has to pay for that? 10 rupees. Otherwise, you have to go to High Court because there is no other way. There is no other way. High Court, and you should go to High Court here for this kind of a useless, simple information. And people don't give this information. That is part of governance, good governance, and working on this. So this is section. This is the aspect that you are supposed to understand.
Yes. Next.
Then one point I want to tell you. In one case, what happened? He is a government officer. There is a fighting with his wife. Natural, some fighting. I don't ask for the reasons for that right. There was a right to information. Fight to information. Fight with these two persons. Then instead of answering or telling her complete information, this fellow sought transferred. He was supposed to live in AP, but he was being transferred to North India. So he went to North India, but what he did is, please see, don't give this information to my wife. Wife doesn't know where this fellow has gone, and he goes there in a south in a North India. This fellow doesn't know, that wife doesn't know where to go. Then somebody, like a friend like me, he said, "Sir, why don't you ask for right information?" Sir, will I get my husband if I ask for right information? Then you know what he did? Just ask for rupees 10 rupees, sir. If you get it, take it. If not, reject it. Then he said, whether my husband is working in a government office, number one. Number two, where is he working? When can I meet him? That's all. 3 questions. Very simple question. And where is that these questions are answerable now? You tell me. Section 4. This is what I wrote in the first part of it. Now I would like to explain you what is this section 4. Section 4 can mean, under section 4, I have to get the information. It doesn't give. It is rejected. It is a central information commissioner, not information commissioner, PIO refused, the other level refused, and gets to me. It comes to me. And where I am the Central Information Commission, it is my experience. Then I said, why don't you give this information? Then I gave an officer, I have a direction, and that was published. It was a big news in the entire country. It was a big news. In fact, there is nothing new in it. It is there already written, but I did not do anything else. Then the husband has to find out where is this person is available. He reached them, she reached them, she met him and said, come on, what happened? But don't ask me what exactly happened thereafter. It's not my activity, it's somebody's activity. So he could get back the husband, at least knowing about husband. That is the reality of the right to information. That is the power of right to information, empowerment of right to information. A woman could empowered with this kind of this. And similarly, there is another question. Somebody says, of course, there is no fight between wife and husband, but wife doesn't know what is salary. You may ask most of us may not give the information. If they give, that's a different thing. They are very good persons. But if you don't give the information, what can he do? No, no, why are you asking me? Please don't ask me. Get out. Ah, I need some money. Okay, give that money, but I don't ask the complete information about my my payments, my salary. Then whether this is a personal information, private information. This is the question. If you are a government office, what is the question? Yeah, you are a government office, and everybody knows what is the answer, what is the payment available for a kind of level of right, like a officer. What is it you get the information? Get the salary. Why don't you inform it? You give it. That's all. Give the information. When he doesn't give, whether she has a right to question under RTI, answer is yes. So right to wife has a right to information about if you are a government. That is the only problem again. If it is a private information, you need not ask. If a government office, you may have to pay. But what Section 4 says?
Yes,
Section 4 talks about Section 10th part of Section 4. What is 10th part of Section 4? If you want, you can read it. It says, what is that remuneration? It doesn't say salary. Remuneration. What kind of remuneration I have a right? You must tell him on your own. I did not even ask for right to information. Get it? So it was considered to be one of the most great judgment of mine. I don't know. It is not a government. I don't agree that it's a great judgment because it's simply enacted and it is simply stated. But simply because nobody has given it, I gave it. And then became I'm a very popular person. I'm not a popular person really. It's a simple question. Why don't you give that question information? Why don't you give that information? These are the questions. Then I want to ask one more important point so that you can remember and you can go for our own questions and answers.
yes,
From a father was asking for right to information about his mother, his father, his father's number. He's asking for. Then I said, the father has to give the information. Why husband is not on and why the son is not giving information. Then, then asked him to appear before me. He came. Then I asked, he's a very old man. He's not being given pension. And for that pension, he's asking for the information. If you're not giving the information, you will not get the pension. That is the question. Then I said, this is refusal is valid. You can't ask for this information. Why not he give this information? Why are you asking for? No, no, no. My other friends, other brothers are sharing the information, sharing the money, and they are not sharing with me. That this is a personal problem. Don't ask for this information. Right to information about in what is it? Pension is his pension, personal pension. Yeah, why are you asking for this money? So this is another point I want to
yes,
explain. One point I'll conclude with this. That is a you are in a government hospital. In a government hospital, he asked for the information about the what is it medical record. You have to give that information unless it is secret. If it is secret, don't give it to that. But the concerned person you should give, na? That is the right. Then is it a private information or a public information? This is the question. Then my question is, I even under private interest in private, if you are getting some money, some getting of advisors, some additional monies through government, you have to give that information. So there's the right to information also available regarding the recorded doctors or medical records. He should give the information. It's a very, very important law, but I'm unfortunately I can say that nobody's doing it. I gave this order, and this order was accepted by the government of India, and government of India is supposed to be circulated to entire country. It was given also, it was sent also, but people are not following it. I am very sorry to say that. But this is what I thought of I should tell you. And rest of the questions you can, if you want, raise the questions. I may answer
Yes,
some.
yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for explaining to us uh, for the benefit of large number of members who have joined today around the screen, the scope and the content of the Right to Information Act, and more importantly, how this takes on the fundamental principles of Constitution, the right to freedom and right to expression, right to live. All this is made actualized in the Right to Information Act, and therefore it is extremely powerful. And you have also explained to us what are the limitations and where are the cases where it can be shared and it can be refused. And every refusal should have a reason, and the citizen is empowered to actually seek that information and also the reason. The beauty of the entire conversation so far is that Right to Information Act is empowering the citizen at a very, very nominal cost of rupees 10. It is as good or as powerful as a writ petition, and therefore they are empowered to seek the information unless and until it is prohibited by courts, unless and until it is harmful to certain individuals or sections of society, unless and until it is commercial in nature and it is going to affect the two parties involved or the stakeholders involved, and unless and until it is going to injure the prospects of the individuals involved. Barring these concerns, I think the right to information empowers the citizens to know about all this. And you have explained some of the cases where it is a conjunction of personal as well as public. And in matters of personal dispute, how RTI can be extremely helpful and gives the citizens their rights as spouses, as children, as relatives. There are certain limits, but definitely one has the right to know. And you also beautifully explained a case of medical records, how the patient himself or patient's family can seek the information which is in the medical records. And if the medical records reimbursement is put in by government, then that becomes a public information, and therefore that also has to be shared without jeopardizing the patient's secrecy and privacy and things like that. So beautiful, sir. I think it looks like it is having a huge scope. I think it is not understood by common men like me the way it is supposed to be understood. It is an extremely powerful tool, and we are now ready for Q&A. I will also say that we are joined by very, very distinguished individuals today around the screen. They come from all walks of life. They are leaders in their own domain, and they are eagerly waiting to hear you in the Q&A section as well. I want to thank all of them for joining on this Friday evening, on the last working day of this calendar year. Thank you so much. I'll request Professor Prasad to start the Q&A. He will have a first cluster. I will come back for the second cluster of questions. During the second cluster, we'll open the mics for the members to ask questions directly also. But we will try and conserve all the time that is required to be kept aside, apportioned for Q&A. Over to Professor Prasad. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rao. Thank you, sir, for a wonderful introduction. The subject is known in bits and pieces to many individuals because of what they read in the newspapers, but the general awareness is not at a very good level. Thank you very much for introducing such a subject to us. I'll start with my first question, sir. Can you give us one example of a highly impactful, an RTI petition which had high impact on governments? I mean, in a larger scale.
What is the impact on the?
High impact on public. I mean, not for an individual, but on public.
Yes, yes. Thousands of people are asking for it. Lakhs of people are asking for information. And most of the information is being given also. That's the most wonderful point. Most of the implementation is possible. Of course, still it is not totally, it is not being useful. That's a different, because they did not understand it. They don't read it. And I'll tell you, Right to information is a very simple information, simple right. I'm not so simple information. Other law is very complicated. Other law generally is implicated, but right to information is very simple. And the makers of right to information, they made it very simple. So anybody can read 63, 32 sections. You can read it, you can understand it. Very simple. But people don't read. That is the problem. I'm really not explaining anything which I know or anything I understood about. No, simply I raised the points of right to information only. So one has to understand it, and it is implemented, and people are using. Even today, it is using. Though there are certain problems, of course, that's a different thing. But in most of the areas, it is being used. Impact is very good.
Thank you, sir, for that reassurance that the impact is high, because you keep reading that there are so many impediments to implementation and there's so much of stalling of information which takes place. So can you give us some insight on what are the two key implementation issues which you have seen in your experience, where more could have been done but it was not done?
Section 4, sir. Section 4 should have been implemented. Because Section 4, do you know how the law says, how the Act says is, you should write it on the on the office, in the level, in the beginning of the office itself. 17 positions, 17 categories has to be written, and that's what I was asking every day. I need not even ask for it; it should be given. That is the unfortunately it is not happening. That's what I feel. I feel very bad for that. And where there is a good governance, where there is a good government, good what is it, collector, a good what is it is called officer, you will definitely implement. I know I have seen several officers like this who are very, very uh, sincere. They were using it, and wherever it is being using, they're using. Today, in government of Telangana, new government came up. I'm not comparing with the earlier government or present government. Today, what is happening, I want to tell you. In today, everybody can go into the government's office and ask for the information. That is what is being sought yesterday. Since yesterday it started. I hope it will continue like this.
So what you're saying is that the officer makes a difference in the
Make
implementation
all
of
the
the
difference.
Section 4,
All the difference.
and the approach of the government at that current point in time also makes a difference.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
That is what is governance.
Okay, sir.
Good governance.
What are your views on the application of RTI on private entities? One of the audience members wants to know.
Yeah, that's a very important situation, important position. But where there is a privacy, not privacy, um, private information. What is the private information? You tell me. Most of the private informations, including authority. Suppose you are a um, what is that? You are a um, university. You are a university, private university. Then what is that you have to give the information? Not general information about your income and all that. All that I am not asking for the information. Others also should not ask for that information. But the other information which is relevant to UGC, UGC regulations, UGC rules, and UGC related your judgments, not judgments, your what is that? Every authorities, very authorities that you have a meeting, na? You have a meeting of officers. Officers' real information that you what you are going.
Statutory bodies
Correct.
of the
Statutory
university.
bodies also should share the information. That is part of right to information. It is not private. That is government information. It is through. You tell me which government is not associated by the private activities? Nowhere. So only to that extent that privatization, private information also can be given, unless there is something which is totally available to them, need not be available. But most of the information which is concerned with the people around must give. For example, in Delhi, all the doctors have private information, private rights. I mean, private governments. No, sorry. What is it? Is called private
Clinics,
hospitals.
private practice.
Okay. Private hospitals you can, but in Delhi there is one important situation, that is most of the information, most of the uh, um, government, most of the government office, government information set. The government, I don't know what is it called. Who is paying, who pays for money? It happens through the government's information. I'm not getting that word.
Reimbursements, huh?
Authority, reimbursements and authority. So if I'm at the authority dealing with the authority, I must give that information. There is the type. Some of the information is given by the government. I'm not getting that word. You have that authority. Wherever there is, according to authority, you have taken some information, some information which you are supposed to have it, you must get it, and that is part of right to private information also.
Okay, sir. So what you're saying is where the private body has an interface with a
Correct.
statutory
Correct.
authority or a regulatory body, and aspects which are associated with those regulatory bodies or that
Correct.
statutory authorities, that kind of information will need to be shared.
Correct.
Is that right, sir?
It's right, sir. Sorry,
Yes, sir.
I could not explain some point.
Yes, sir. Sir, the next thing is, are the data
Yes,
privacy laws a
just-
hindrance on?
Just a point, sir.
Sure, sir.
Land. This is what I forgot. Land. Whose land is this? In government of Delhi, total land is with the government only. When somebody is having a private hospital, it is based on the land given by the authority. And everybody who has that information has to give the information. So this is I thought I could not say land, I missed it. Now I explained it. Sorry for that. Now you can explain, sir.
Thank you, sir. So in addition, resources which are given by the government, including land,
Correct.
if there's anything related to that, then that also has to be shared. Thank you, sir. Are the data privacy laws a hindrance to RTI? That is the next question, sir.
Yeah, privacy is a very, very important question. Suppose somebody is a husband is fighting with the wife. It's a private information. I need not give that information. But if it has something with the police station, and everybody person who is suffering with police related issues, they have to give that information. It is not private. So this is the difference.
What has been the improvement in the response to RTI over the years, sir? Has it changed? Has it the awareness increased?
Yeah.
Have the numbers increased every year?
If you generally look into the numbers, it is more than 1 crore persons have taken the information. 1 crore, minimum 1 crore. And this great country, 1 crore is very, very small. But still 1 crore is great. So I feel unless people should use it, complete information, completely ask for it, you will get more information. For example, there is one very interesting right to information, that is right to elections. In an election, somebody is contesting. In a contesting person has to give the complete information. What complete information? What I am doing, how much of money I have, how much of what a salary I am getting. Everything you have to see on your own. Even the government, the what is it? Chief minister or a prime minister or other ministers, they have to give complete information about that. On your own, they have to give. And who is giving? Because you are contesting. Before you are contesting, even if you lost the contest, you have to give that information also. And this right was originally given in section 2, not section, law 2002. In 2002, government has, um, Supreme Court has given this order. And that is the real right to information in my view. And then you have section 2005. In 2005, this was reiterated. Then now there are two changes. Have very important changes happened. That is the in 2019 they have changed the law. which I think not correct. Then there is another law in 2023, that is a few months back. In few months, they have back change relating right to privacy. It's a very important question. And privacy related certain limitations were removed, and then you can't ask for that right information. They protected it. Right to information is protected, but revering privacy, they did not get the information. They did not give the information. They did not ask for the information. This I complain. I'm against it. But what can I do? This was the law made by the government constitution, according to within the constitution, according to parliament.
So to spread the awareness, what are the one or two measures that you would suggest?
If you really understand section 4 again, is a very important section 4, and there are other aspects of other 30 parts of constitution of right to information. They are supposed to even provide a campaign where they are supposed to campaign. They were doing it in the beginning in 2005, 2006, 2007. They did, but now they are not doing it. They're not interested in right to information. This is the most unfortunate situation. They have a duty. They should do that. They have to do.
Thank you, sir. I think you have also mentioned that the government in power also has a significant role in fostering this, and hopefully that will also come in.
Yeah. One point
Yeah,
let
sure,
me
sir.
add.
Sure.
When I was working on right to information as a Central Information Commissioner, originally the government, not the right to information was given me the power of equivalent to Supreme Court judge. I was having Supreme Court judge level power. But now, because of in 2019 changes, they have reduced it to 3 years. 5 years I used to have, but they gave me 3 months, 3 years, and they also reduced the level of the Supreme Court judgment to judges level to an officer in the government. This is a major change. I don't want to explain all this, but it's a serious thing that happened to this government, this state, and now recent change in 2023 also has uh, has really reduced the power of right to information. Still, there is a good right to information. There is a right to information can be still used it, and it is powerful.
Thank you, sir, for your patient responses. I hand it back to Professor Rao for the next cluster.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. I think you have answered several critical elements also. We are so happy that you joined us in spite of not being well. I must appreciate this fact.
I want to add that point to your friends, all the friends, because I suffered damage to my brain, very serious brain. I forgot everything, and now I am recovering to talk about those things which I have did. I forgot entire the right, knowing, right knowledge I lost, but now I could do it, and because of Mr. Sudhakar and other friends, I took. They have really encouraged me to speak, and I spoke. In spite of this, I spoke. I think I could do something better.
Amazing, sir. I think this session is full of information and insights from you. You are a well of knowledge. It is our duty and responsibility to take as much as we can. So that's what we are trying to do in the
For
question
two,
and
three
answer
months,
session.
sir. After 2 and 3 months, perhaps I can give you better.
Yeah, we will again contact you, sir. Definitely. So there are few more questions. We'll take that and then conclude, sir.
Please. Okay.
I request all the members in the audience to raise their hand, whoever would like to talk to sir. But before that, I will take one question myself, and that is, sir, are there any instances where RTI has negatively affected the functioning of government?
Sir. People are misusing it. That's a very serious problem. Misuse is being happened, and because of this this wrong activity, we are suffering. and even the government suffered to a great extent, and that is one reason why people are misusing it. So we should use it only for proper positions, for people, for the goodness of the people, for good governance only. We should not personally engage in fighting with the people because I have a complaint against this fellow, he is complaining against me, so I want to expose this fellow. If this is the problem, I think it is not correct. The misuse is worried. I'm also worried about misuse. Misuse should not be used by the people.
Yeah, is there any example for our benefit, if you can give, where it was misused? Any particular case?
Yeah, in some case, they filed eight 8,500 questions. One person asked for 8,005 questions, and 8,500 questions were filed separately by paying 10 rupees, 10 rupees, 10 rupees. They did not even bother to pay money. They paid. And what is it I had to do? I'm a Central Information Commissioner. At this position, I was there. Then all the eight, 3,500 pages, 5,000 questions were there before me. I said all 5,000 together. I took the commission to the commission me and said, "Come on, answer." And I answered them, and they could not do anything. I said it is a simple of it's an example of a rejection, possible rejection, and useless rejection, useless activity, and useful act is rejection. So this is the misuse I can give as an example, and there are so many. I have decided minimum 300, 4,000 decisions on this point only. Refusal and abusing the law. I gave 40 to 50, and I can give you a separate book on that itself. But I'm not interested in because people read only that. So I don't want to sue that. I want to use it for good people, good purpose, good governance.
Thank you, sir. I think you have illustrated the point that RTI should be used for public good. It should be used for seeking information that can help individual or collection of individuals.
Correct.
And it should not be misused, like
Yes,
to settle some personal scores or to put government
that is what is
in
happening.
discomfort by filing thousands of RTI questions, like you have mentioned in an example. But yes, if we have able commissioners like you, I'm sure it can be handled and they can see through the motive behind filing such a large number of cases by one single individual, and therefore it can be suitably addressed. Thank you very much, sir, for that response. So one more question I'll take. If anybody is raising the hand, we will go for them. But meanwhile, we'll take the question, and that is like this. Under what circumstances a person seeking the information can disclose his identity and need not disclose identity? What are the instances, extreme instances, where he has to disclose the identity?
For example, budget. Budget is a very useful information, and the entire information is about budget. You will available there, but are they using it? You have to use it. That's one example I can give. And where they are not using is this. So every month, every year, what happens? The judgment, judgment, no judgment. So what is it?
Budget is presented.
Budget. Every month every year there is a budget, and in every budget, what happens? Every government, every what is that?
Finance
Chief
minister,
prime minister,
finance.
some minister, this minister, that minister, they have to give that information. They are supposed to give the information, and there is no under parliament also. There is a question level, question section, question aspect. Because the moment I ask the question, I have to give complete information to the person. This is the real right to information. Right to information only for the MPs and the MLAs. But here, if you use RTI, that also has to be given.
Beautiful, beautiful point. What you're saying is that through RTI, even a common man can seek clarification on budget, which is extremely important. And budget impacts all of us in our yearly
If you use
work
it, it
and
will be
life.
very useful.
So it affects our home finances as well, apart from the
Correct.
businesses. So it is not limited to just a Q&A inside the parliament, but even a common man can
Correct.
ask.
Correct.
So that's a very, very important aspect. Sir, there is another question which I would like to request you to respond. If there are instances of rejection, for example, there is a query and it is rejected, what is the recourse for the common man to appeal against that rejection? What should we do when it is rejected?
Suppose I have rejected it wrongly as a a Central Information Commissioner. I have rejected. I'm not supposed to reject, but I rejected. Then that is the question. Then only availability right is writ petition, or it can go to state central government. It is High Court and then Supreme Court. So most of my questions were give information. So most of the my decisions, judgments were challenged in High Court and Supreme Court. That is my unfortunate point, I can say. I think I am correct. Naturally, when I'm convinced about that, I gave this answer, this judgment. But they said, no, it is not correct. They have a right to say that. They have authority. They have government. They are better government than me. No? For example, High Court and Supreme Court, and I can't question them. But if they give a wrong answer, if they ring wrong judgment, that's my question. What will happen to this country?
Great.
Suppose Supreme Court has not given a correct judgment, what can I say? So I can question it. As a journalist, I can question it. As a citizen, I can question this. I want them to ask that question.
Great. So the takeaway is that if an RTI request is rejected, the common man can go to the courts like High Court and Supreme Court and see.
Correct.
And sometimes if there is a judgment which is erroneously given or it is a wrong judgment, then obviously we hope that it is not, but we are all limited by the power of law that is vested in the Supreme Court or the honorable courts that we have. Yes, sir. That point we have understood. Thank you, sir. So there is one more question which I will request you to respond to, and that is, over the last 10 years, has RTI reduced its efficacy? If so, how we can improve it, in the sense how we can make it better than ever before? What are your suggestions?
Efficacy is there. Still, it is. I always say is this. What is that? It has power. It still has some power in it, in spite of amendments. There are two kinds of amendments which are not supposed to have been taken, but they did. Okay, I don't want to get into that question because it's a critical analysis. Critical analysis somewhere we can give. But here, what I would like to tell you is still right to information has potential question, potential power, and one should use it. My problem is not misusing. My question is unusing. Most of the people are not using this right. Use uselessness be also happening, and abusing is being done. But why are you not using it? Non-use is my serious complaint. I feel my people, my all the people should understand. If you are like a voting, you go to vote. You don't vote here. What can I do? It is your right, nah? But you are not voting. When you are only 60%, 65% people are not voting. And what will happen to 35% of people who are not voting here? It should have really changed the government totally. It should have changed the entire government. 2%, with 2% people will change the government. You know that? Just 2%. And why are you not using? So people are, first, there are 2 points. One, power to vote You're not using. Second, power to right to life, for right to live. It's not a right to information. You're not using. Misusing, not. Even if you misuse, I don't have any problem. Not using is a serious problem.
Great, sir. Great. I think you have elucidated that very well. The bigger problem is not misuse, but the bigger problem is not using the act.
Correct.
Not seeking empowerment, not seeking information.
Correct.
It is as bad as not going to vote in elections.
Correct.
So it's a bigger problem. I understand that. Thank you very much, sir. If other members have any questions, we'll take that. Otherwise, we'll conclude
Before
here.
that, I'd like to add 2 points.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that you can read this also. Section 7, 4, and the second, fourth part, fifth part, and eighth part. I suggest you to read it. The fourth part of section 7 talks about accession, access. I can access the information. That's what is given by section 4, 7, 4, 7, 4, and 7, 5. Reasonable fee. You have to ask for reasonable fee. You should not ask more money for this. You can take reasonable money and you can impose reasonable money. That is the second point. And third point is reasons for rejection. Section 7, 8 is a very important. You have to give the reasons for rejection. Why are you rejecting? Explain. If you are not doing it, you are not properly working right information. So these are the 4 points that I should tell. Others is fine. Because
excellent, sir. Excellent. Thank you very much. It's been such an informative session, and it has cleared most of our doubts with respect to RTI, and how much we have not used it is the discovery right now. One is by not knowing about it. Other one is in spite of knowing we are not using it. I think as citizens, we are subjugating our rights, and we are also denying ourselves the right to good governance by not using RTI. I think it's an amazing session that you have brought forth for all of us, and we are immensely benefited. Professor Prasad, if you have any question, we'll take that and then we can wrap it up.
I think that's it. I don't have any further at this stage. Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. So there's one last point, and then that is just now one question has come. If the transparency in government providing information increases, will it vanish? In the sense, will it make RTI not required? The concept of RTI will not be required.
I want.
Are there any chances of RTI vanishing in future with more effectively if the government is providing this information?
Sir, I have the 2 points. Again, I would like to repeat section 4. If section 4 is simply 17 aspects of section 4, nobody needs to use RTI at all. I want to look at the position coming days that nobody should use RTI at all, so that they give information on their own. That is my Rajram, Raja, what is it we have to say? That is kind of the real coming will happen.
Yeah, that's the
Ramarajya.
That's the Ramarajya.
And nothing with the other reasons, not other points.
Correct. It's like talking about an ideal form of government.
Ideal form of, that is good governance. Thank you,
Professor Prasad.
Thank you, sir, for the time which you have spent with us. I think it's a very important subject. You have introduced it well, and you've really been patient and given the fact that you're just emerging out and coming back to what you have once been. I think hats off to you, sir. We greatly appreciate your taking this time and taking the questions also in this session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much on behalf of everybody present here, and also on behalf of ICFAI Group. I would like to profusely thank you for your time, energy, and expertise in explaining and exploring the dynamics of RTI for our benefit. And I'm sure you started with Mahatma Gandhi's quote, "Ask for it, you will get it. If you don't ask, you will not get it." And another extremely powerful revelation is that the right of a citizen becomes the duty of a public authority. And this is a very, very powerful tenet of the fundamental aspects of our constitution of right to knowing, and everything else is dependent on this right to information, like right to expression, right to vote, right, and many other rights are dependent on this. I think you have very, very nicely simplified the concept for us to understand. It is very difficult to read an act. It is very, for a common man who is not from the legal background, it is difficult to read because acts are written in a particular fashion. But because of distinguished professors like you and experts, it is made easy for all of us. And once it is easy to understand, I'm sure more people will use it and use it for the right purpose, so that the information that is supposed to be available for us will definitely be made available in due course of time in the years to come, and the ideals of our constitution will definitely be actualized. But interventions like the CICs like you will have to come, will have to make these awareness levels go up like anything, and then empower the citizens so that whatever we have wished for in our constitution will become a daily life's realization. I think that's where we all have to hope for and work for it. Thank you so much, sir, once again for your
Right to three of you, sir,
presence.
for helping me in speaking.
Oh, you
Our
have
pleasure,
helped,
sir. Our pleasure.
you have helped us, sir. You are, as I said, you are a well of information, and it is our duty to dip our mug and bucket in that and take as much as we can. We will come back to you, sir. We'll keep in touch.
Thank you so much.
What we'll do is we will write a summary of this session, and we will share it with you. Once you correct it, we will upload it to our archives.
Thank you so much.
For the benefit of those people who have not joined, this will be available along with the video on our archives.
Yeah,
That will be great.
That's great.
And ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining. Next week, that is the next Friday, we will not be having the leadership conversation. We are taking a break on 5th of January, but we will come back on the subsequent Friday, that is on 12th of January, with yet another leader. Till then, we wish you a great weekend and the year end, and have a responsible celebration. And hopefully, the next year and the years to come will celebrate the founding principles of our constitution. And we, as a great nation, as responsible citizens, will surge forward for making it very, very meaningful and respectful for all others around us. So thank you, all the best. Thank you and all the best for all of you, and good night.